game. 50 Cent dropped a whole bunch of knowledge about like basically coming from the
I'm
streets.
surprised I haven't watched this.
It's new. It's
I
good.
only seen the clips. I didn't get to watch the whole
It's
thing.
pretty good. I mean, he talks about going through being in the streets, maneuvering through business. Basically, how he got the money,
Getting
the
shot
idea
in
of
the
vitamin
face.
water, getting shot, how nobody wanted to stand behind him. He also talked about Eminem's situation and how like when
Are they're friends, right?
yeah
They're not beefing.
Eminem signed him to Shady.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. But I thought they were beefing for a little bit, but they're cool now, right?
I mean, yeah, they're cool. So he was talking about how basically like he had 50 Cent had the bad name. He had how the Rob song out and how a lot of record labels weren't trying to touch him and everything. And he had the whole beef with Ja Rule. And then when he met Eminem, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna talk about how much I hate Ja Rule and all this stuff. I'm not gonna let Eminem know that I got like 50 songs in the tuck about how I hate Ja Rule. And he ended up getting signed, and just so happened by like the grace of God, Ja Rule ended up saying something about Eminem, and Eminem was like, "F that dude, we gonna diss Ja Rule." And then the next day, 50 Cent came out with a CD.
Why do you have to end Ja's career?
And then the next day, 50 Cent came out with a CD to Eminem saying, "Here, I got a song right, I got a whole bunch of 20 songs right here." And Eminem was like, "For real, you work fast?" He was like, "Yeah, I know. Let's crush this guy." And the whole time he had beef. And the whole time he had beef, he was just happy. He knows a coincidence. But hey, man, we got 50 Cent right here talking ish on Rick Ross saying, "Rick Ross, you need me to get money. Your
You say
career's
he
in the
used his
gutter."
name for publicity, but let's check it out.
They can't pay you more than they can pay you because the room can't hold enough people for them to give you the money to stay there. You can stay until you're a squatter. Holding on to the leg of the chair that they move. But that's what it is. It's just a part of presentation.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You can see this. You don't need me to say this. You know this.
Yeah.
Look at it. What kind of rich nigga cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass? You trying to save money, nigga? You don't want to pay for the lawn to get cut, huh?
Let me ask you
The
this.
AC broken in the motherfucker.
Let me ask you this.
Ooh, I thought I was putting another video after this. I guess I didn't add it. But I mean, hey, so if you didn't know, so after did I guess I didn't. So after 50 Cent said this, Rick Ross responded back saying, "Oh, you ran. How does it feel? You playing both sides? How you on Drake's side? But then, DJ Drama, Dr. Dre and Eminem signed you, so you supposed to be on Kendrick Lamar's side." Also, he said Rick Ross said he not broke. He's getting all this money. So I mean, the funny thing is, if you wondering like why this is still going on, this past July, allegedly what happened was Rick Ross was filming his mansion, his yard in his mansion, and said, 50 Cent, I see you out there getting money. You doing power. You doing all this other stuff. You out there getting money, and I see you got your own little G Unit facility like Tyler Perry do, but you ain't got enough acres. If you need some more space, holler at me. We can speak business. I'm not gonna give you no deal. I'm not gonna give you a promise, but you know you need the space. Holler at me. And 50 Cent like, man, nigga, like I get money. Like I'm over here getting money. I got all this stuff going on. I don't need your little acres, and you going broke. You cut your own grass, which is funny.
I mean, some people say it's therapeutic. We know Rick Ross could afford to cut his own grass.
True, but at the same time, if you did, I read the Rick Ross book.
Oh yeah, did 50 Cent have a book?
50 Cent got a couple of books, and 50 Cent has a new book coming out real soon. But it's a nonfiction book about like some police officers, so it's not about him. But the book that about Rick Ross did have yard cutters, and the yard cutters like when he was out of town threw a party threw a party at his mansion and everything, and then like Rick Ross came home early and like he tied the man up, smacked him around, threw him in the closet allegedly, and then dude ended up suing him. So I mean, I don't think Rick Ross trusts that many people since that last situation.
Rick Ross don't trust nobody since he got jumped in Canada.
True.
Remember we just covered that. And he left his homies. He left them out. I mean, it was crazy about it. What did you think about him, like,
and then
just jumping into that, like, or getting jumped and then leaving his homies?
That's true. He jumped and left his homies. But remember, don't forget about the whole Gunplay situation. Remember when Gunplay got jumped?
Yeah.
remember when Gunplay got jumped? That whole situation, that was real sad. And that was done by 50 Cent and them, his crew. So, I mean, they've been having beef for a long time. I remember the whole Officer Ricky situation.
Officer Ricky.
And that's when 50 Cent tried to expose Rick Ross for being a correctional officer. Even, and that didn't really.
That is kind of crazy to be like, have that on your resume when you're also a rapper. Because most rappers hate cops, so to find out like you were a former cop, former correctional officer, that's definitely got to go down bad. Like,
true.
We saw Real Boston Snitchy out here lose a lot of his viewership when it came out that he was ratting.
But then you remember, like he made that "Help Me" song, and that started getting views. Now, as soon as that started getting views, they re-dropped it again, him snitching all over again.
Yeah, they're not gonna let it go.
But at the same time, you see Gunna. How you feel? Well, okay. So how you feel about that now?
Gunna gets a pass because he be making songs for the thotties.
So you feel like that's why because you remember at first when he first happened, he was like, "Oh, Gunna's gonna fall off. Ain't nobody gonna listen to his music and everything."
No, I mean that's because the streets died with the year 2000 kids. When the year 2000 kids started coming up, the streets died.
Oh, that's hard. Well, I mean,
it died with the 90s kids. When the 90s kids heard someone snitched, they weren't down. They're like, that person's dead to me. The year 2000 kids are like, but he didn't snitch on me though.
True, but I mean, back to this whole 50 Cent interview with $1 million worth of game. I mean, it's a good interview. It's not an hour. It's like 58 minutes long. They in a restaurant. They somewhere. They talking. It's just a nice little chill vibe. 50 Cent always dropping game and wisdom, so you need to go ahead and check that out. But I mean, I really don't feel like Rick Ross need 50 Cent to get everything.
The beef will ever end?
Nah, the beef ain't gonna never end. The beef ain't gonna never end. I mean, it's too deep. I mean, at the same time, remember the whole Rick Ross baby mama situation, and 50 Cent sent his whole crew. They recorded it. I don't know.
His baby mama's still messing with him for that.
Mm-hmm. She sued him and she won that whole lawsuit, but I don't know if he paid.
That's the thing with civil lawsuits. People can win them, but it's kind of hard to enforce them. Like only in some states can you really like enforce them.
Yeah.
So it just depends. It just depends on where you're at.
Like the game, he still ain't paid the other person.
50 Cent ain't paid nobody. 50 Cent lost like 20 lawsuits, ain't paid nobody.
They ain't got nothing in their name. You see these like that soccer player, how I think the soccer player overseas had everything in his mama name and ended up getting a divorce.
Yeah, that's where Tom Brady wasn't smart. Well, didn't he do that with some properties?
I think he did it with some properties. That was it.
Because Giselle was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't get half of this or half of that," and he's like, "Oh, those are all my mama's house."
They just want your money. But we gonna keep you up to date on this whole Rick Ross 50 Cent situation. This beef gonna never stop. But moving on here, going from beef, next we finna go to more beef, man. It looks like here